So, I thought I'd make this video just in, well, basically because I posted about this on Facebook in some groups. But I go to this men's group, and they have a lot of different speakers at this men's group. And this particular meeting, it's every 2 weeks. And this particular meeting, one of the speakers is a professor at one of the universities near me. And he happens to be a professor in genetics. That's his thing. Biology, genetics is his background. Super cool. So he did the presentation on, let me turn down my AC in case that's all up in the volume. He did a presentation called Sex as You Don't Know It. Which was basically just about reproduction, asexual and non-asexual reproduction in the animal kingdom, and the really unique mating rituals and processes of some animals. For instance, I believe it was the flatworm. There's a couple animals that are hermaphrodites and present as male and female, and the flatworm is one of them. And if you have a 5-year-old sense of humor, you're going to appreciate this. So what happens when two flatworms mate, one of them has to take the part of the male and one of them has to take part of the female. And so how do they decide to do this? They have a penis war. That's right. They fence off with their penises. And the weaker one takes the female role. The one who loses takes the female role and and gives birth, carries eggs. I don't really know the details of what flatworms do, but I thought that was kind of cool, and all the stories were kind of like that. And so at the end, and now granted, my men's group, okay, I live in Florida, everybody knows this, so a lot's going on in Florida, and the men's group I go to happens to be a lot of older guys. I'm probably the youngest guy in there, or one of the youngest guys. So there's that, to keep in that mind, okay? There's a bunch of, and it's at the Jewish Center here, right? So you got a bunch of old Jewish guys in the state of Florida. And so this one guy who's kind of known for asking kind of outrageous questions, he just kind of has an outrageous personality, asks at the end, I heard his question, I heard there are 1.6 million people over the age of 13 identifying as transgender. How do you feel about that? That was his question to the professor. I sat back. I'm like, I can't wait to hear this response. Everyone was cool, like, and the professor was cool. So what he said was that biology is very complex, and that we used to think that being male or being female was almost a light switch, that if you had these certain traits, you were going to come out as male, and vice versa. And now we know that that's not true, that you could have all of these traits that are supposed to make you come out male and still come out female at birth. And so he went on to say that when it comes to human sex, it's less about a light switch and more of a dimmer, right? So you have this spectrum. And he went on to say that he could not confirm that number. He didn't really know where that number came from, so he couldn't speak on that particular number. But that there's a lot of psychology also, and sociology in it, that people transition for the social aspect, which I would agree is partly true. Obviously, there's a lot of dysphoria that he may or may not be aware of in a lot of people. But for me, yeah, I mean, that was my big reason for starting testosterone, was because I needed society to see me as the male I am. And of course, I needed that. I didn't know that at the time, but I really needed to see the physical attributes. It's just life-changing for me. If I could go back in time and like society just view me and treat me as the man I am and not take testosterone, would I have done that? I don't know, maybe, because at the time I felt like that was all that I needed. But knowing what I know now, no, I would definitely have to take it, because It's more than just society seeing me and treating me that way. It's me seeing myself and seeing that male physical body, which is why I have personally gone through with my medical transition and will continue to go through with it. Eventually getting lower surgery. I've been talking about this for a long time, but one day, I got my one dream. My one dream came true. All right, so that's that. I'll end this video there. I didn't mean for this to be so long. All right, talk to you later.